why don't you introduce yourselves and, what side of the design that you're doing, like who does what?
Yeah. So. Okay, well, I'm Nate Stramberg, and this is Katie Kirk. And what else? I don't know, we both are equal partners in 8-Hour Day. We both have different expertises, but, I'd say I'm more interactive and photography.
More illustration and design, but both design.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the concepting and everything is the team part when you're doing the first. Okay.
Yep.
All right. And this is still my favorite one. But what's it like to work with a spouse? Because that part that's where it got cut off last time.
Okay.
So.
Oh,
and then the follow-up question is, how many times do you get asked that?
Yeah.
Daily.
Yeah.
I think that is, that's second behind maybe where did our name come from, I think is.
Yeah.
And I think people that don't know design or, even know the name, like, they're like, how do you work together? Yeah, it's just like the question. Even my great aunt or my great uncle, Aunt Angie, like this last vacation was like, how do you do that? He's like 90 years old. He's like, I would never have worked with my wife. And I'm like, oh my God. But, I don't know.
Even yesterday at the post office, actually.
Oh, yes.
Someone was like trying to pronounce like the name of the business, and they're like, what is this? We're like, oh, we're in a business together. And they're like, you're married? Like, yeah. I don't know, the postmaster wasn't feeling it. But for us, it works. it's not anything we really expected to happen or set out to do. We just have known each other for how long? Like, long time. Probably like over 10 years.
Yeah.
Like probably 11, 12 years.
And you had started the business together?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We were dating, and then we ended up, each having our own jobs, and ultimately we both ended up actually working at the Target's interactive department, and it was really after that we decided to kind of go off on our own and work together and start a business together. And I think it was mainly because we were both designers and it seemed to make a lot of sense, it was more of like a lifestyle change, choice than it was really like a business decision. And I think it still is. I think it's still more of because we want to, kind of have this lifestyle.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, for sure. Like we weren't like, yeah, we gotta work together. It's like, no, we want a life that's like very integrated with our work, and since we're married, it just so happens it probably would make sense to do it together and try to push towards those same goals.
Yeah, so. Instead of competing.
Yeah.
Then you come home and be like, yeah, I just got a great job. It's just like, great.
Yeah. Or just like even being on the same schedule.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Like if we want to do trips or whatever, it's just way easier that way.
So at that time, did you guys have completely separate styles?
We
still do,
yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. That's probably been, that's, I feel like we probably have like our 10 things that we've had to like constantly and, from the beginning work on, how to figure that out. You know what I mean? Like it becomes really kind of like these like little micro things like, okay, well we have this style difference. Like how do we communicate that? How do we work together on projects? And I think, for that instance, like we usually will, if the project comes in, will each concept separately. Like we rarely, I would say, design in the same file. Like I know designers, couples, teams, whatever that do that. I don't know how. Like I'm just, I don't know. I can't handle that. Like I don't know.
It's pretty rare.
It's pretty
like
tough.
Every once in a while we'll do that. Usually if it's more like a corporate piece, like we're designing a website that's for more of a corporate client right now, and that one we pass around quite a bit, but it's it's pretty vanilla, I guess, in the grand scheme of things.
So do each of you like own a project basically, and then kind of get response back from the other?
Right. I think so. It's kind of like we'll usually do like 3 different concepts, and like from there the client will usually pick one, and then whoever is picked, you'll kind of manage that project. It'll kind of be yours. So then the other person will usually be support, but you'll kind of take like the lead on the design and stuff like that. So whether that is good or bad.
Yeah.
Depending on the client,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
But
Usually when we set out, we do sit down though before we even start designing and be like, all right, we're giving them 3 concepts, like roughly, like what should these be hitting? Like a safe one, like one that's further out, what does that mean? One that's in the middle, which one's our gut reaction? And then we'll kind of, based on our styles, like often be like, all right, well, I think you would be best to do a concept along these lines, and you'd be best for this one. So we do break it out a little bit ahead of time, and then we go and do our things.
Okay. For what differentiates you from other design firms that, I know what it is and stuff, but could you explain it to people that are going to see this and check out the site after they've read the video?
Yeah, I'd say we're rooted in interactive, even though both of us went to school mostly for print, but in terms of professional careers, we started out in interactive more or less, and now we're kind of morphing into a little more print, but it's nice to kind of see how your illustration style and my interactive style come together. I think that's probably what sets us apart the most. For example, if you check out bastianscoog.com, their website, I designed the site and the framework, but then you came in and did all the illustrative elements and supplements and stuff like that. So
I think because of my illustrative background, we can probably create assets from, if you don't have any assets, we're able to create those assets from nothing and really kind of help add on additional elements to the brand and I also like to think that we're good designers, and I also like to think that I think with us you're gonna get a personal relationship, which is we don't hire people. Sometimes we'll bring on freelancers, but even that, it's really when you're dealing with us, you're dealing with us directly. You're either gonna have a phone call with Katie or Nate, and that's your 2 choices. For better or for
whether
worse.
you like it or not.
Yeah. But,
Okay. What are the kind of things that you do to stay fresh, where where you're not coming up with the same art or the same vectors, or
Yeah, it's always evolving for sure. Starting out in school and stuff before the internet design community had really taken off. It was always looking through books and magazines, and you had a stack this tall with post-it notes and tons of different pages all the time of your favorite stuff. But now it's kind of evolved into just kind of being aware of what's out there online, and actually we had a little email conversation with someone yesterday about this, but then trying to reach out to some of those people that are online and create relationships with them so it doesn't feel so impersonal. It's oh, we like what you're doing, we should talk, and we should probably know each other, and those types of things, just building relationships.
I think just the online community right now is just, obviously it's just blown up in the last, 5 years or so, where it's just, you can really go to so many great blogs and just have all this content, and probably it becomes more of now organizing that content for yourself, and it's if you're if you're a student, gosh, please, it's I have inspiration folders, illustration, it's it's very just organized, so that anytime I see something I can pull it, and it just whatever works for your process. But I think the online, just the online community, the blogs out there, the people that we've been lucky enough to meet either in person or just online,
Yeah, and we both had great groups of people we went to school with too that we're still friends with, and I think that we all still push each other quite a bit.